want the best of it's Brands by Integra. If you want the best of it's Brands by Integra. I see.
Okay, welcome. Brands by Integra Podcast. We have today Dan Firda, the new CEO of Brands by Integra. He's taken over the reins here. For me, I'll be sliding into the chairman role. Still doing a lot of what I do, but bringing Dan in is a big lift to our company, and he won't be taking over my podcast anytime soon. My lousy little podcast here, but he will be taking playing a big role here at the company. So Dan, welcome to the company.
Yeah, appreciate that. And I'm good with not taking over the podcast. I'm good
All
with
right.
being a guest.
That's good. Yeah, that's funny. One of the things that I don't, you're a quiet guy. People see you as a quiet guy, but I've known you for a long time. So tell us, when did you start with Century 21 Corporate, and
Yeah.
how long have you been there, and what was your roles and different things that you've done?
Yeah, you got it. So real estate for a long time prior to joining corporate, but joined what was then Realogy, changed to Anywhere, and now Compass about 15 years ago. And started off as the managing consultant for the Northeast. So I was telling Rob, I think I mentioned this to you, but you guys were my second meeting on my second day in that role, which is pretty interesting. So I had one
Yeah, I
quick
remember
meeting
that.
before you, and then I rolled in to see you guys in I think it was the Linfield office at the time. Linfield or Lynn, I'm not sure.
I think it was probably, it might have been Linfield 15 years ago. Geez.
Yeah, it was good. That was
And
a good one.
I remember, if I remember right, when you came in, um, you got me the Lemonster office.
Yeah, that was probably a year in, I think.
A year later,
We
yeah,
got
because then we were
the
down in
two there.
Leominster, and we started
Yep,
growing out the western, central Mass
yep, yep.
footprint. And wow, so it has 15 years, a long time.
It's been a long time.
Um,
Yeah, so started with that. Then moved into if you remember the CEO at the time, Alex Perillo. He blew up the consulting business side of the business and created the Center of Excellence team, which I was heading up. I did that it was about a year. It was one of those situations where you kind of know going into it, it's not gonna last that long. I knew that right off the bat, but was there for a little less than a year running, it was financial planning and analysis and growth. So we had two sides to the business, and it was an interesting time because they blew up the consulting team, so everybody had to reapply for jobs. They asked me to do this initiative to join the Center of Excellence team, which was across all the brands, and there was only 11 people on the team.
oh wow, that's right. They
Yeah,
were consolidating the
big time.
consultants, so yeah,
And
had to
then
do Caldwell Banker.
yep,
Yeah.
this group was to parachute. There's a problem with any of the brands, parachute in, fix the problem, get the heck out, and go to the next one. So I was leading that, which was interesting. Because and it was an interesting dynamic. They were, we're taking the best of the best from the consultants, from all the brands, put them together, but that wasn't going to work, and it didn't. I knew it. It worked for, it lasted for about a year and a half, but from there, after a year of that, Mike was hitting me up. Mike Needler, he was head of sales at the time. He was hitting me up to come over to franchise sales and run that. So that's how I got into franchise sales, back to Century 21. So I was out of Century 20 for about a year. That's about it.
I played a role in that, I think. Mike asked me to push you to go to the franchise sales side. I remember
Yeah,
calling you and being like, do it. You should do it.
yeah,
And
yeah. And that was good.
because I was pushing him to bring in somebody good, and I always knew you were good. And, the franchise sales teams, as we know, you
Yeah,
get get good and bad. So like I remember Mike saying like, please help me get Dan to come to this side. And
Yeah.
and I remember that. So I remember when you went to franchise sales, but then you weren't my guy. You were just doing the big deals, right?
Yeah, it was big deals across the whole country. So it was all over.
Yeah,
And that was good though. I did that for 3 years, and that's when I really, really got to know everybody across the whole
right.
country, all the Century 21 system, a lot of independent players, other franchise teams, companies not inside Realogy at the time. And, so that was good. That was a key piece to probably my career. Just I got to know everybody. And that's how I know all the pack members. And, um, that was key. Did that for a while. And then we had a new CEO come in, Nick Bailey. He pulled me out. He said, I need you to run our operations team, come back into the consulting operations side, run the team nationally. So been doing that for it was I think 7 years, 2018. It was
Wow.
September of 2018. Did that.
When we
Yeah.
changed our name to Northeast, that was Nick Bailey.
That was Nick
That was
Bailey. Yeah.
his
Yeah.
single act of greatness at Century 21.
That's right. And that's where I've been since. So it's been,
So you grew up
yeah,
in Connecticut, right?
yeah, still here. Yep.
And Cornell graduate.
Yep. MBA from Cornell. Yep.
Nice. And before Century 21, you were with an independent firm.
Yep.
And what role did you play there when like you must have been really at that point, you're in your 30s.
Yeah. Yep.
How'd you end up in the real estate business? Most people try to avoid real estate when they get out of Cornell, I would imagine.
Well, interesting. Well, no, so interesting. So my MBA from Cornell, I was already in real estate. I got that in 2013. So I
Oh,
went
okay.
back to school and got it. Most of it was online. So that worked out really well. And actually Realogy helped me pay for it, which was
Oh,
good.
nice.
Just started there.
Nice.
That was part of my sign on when I joined Realogy. I was like, you guys, I'm already enrolled in this. You guys have to pay for it or whatever the
Nice.
program was. So they paid for like half. It worked out really good. So, but I, started in the corporate world in sales. I was in tech, and you could see the company was packaging themselves for sale. So the whole company pretty much left. I jumped into real estate. This is a long time. This is like 2001 or two. I don't know, maybe 2003. I jumped into real estate, went to work for Remax, believe it or not.
Mm.
And then just because of the team concept and started a team in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and had a team. And it was pretty good. It was going well. We were doing pretty good. And this independent company you're talking about was William Ravis. They found out about my past career. I was managing a team in the tech space. They knew I could manage. Now I'm in real estate, running a team. They're like, hey, can you come over and manage our Trumbull, Connecticut office, which was one of their flagship offices. I'm like, yeah, let me check it out. So that's how I got into the corporate side of real estate and management. And
Oh,
I kind of
wow.
took it off from there. So as a good company, it was a good
Yeah,
learning
good
working
company.
there. Yeah.
I met Chris Ravis at an event last month.
Yeah.
Good company. Um, they have a lot of, similarities with the multiple different
Yeah.
ancillaries and different things like that.
Yeah.
They got a pretty big footprint like we do. Very well run. Yeah. Oh, and so then at Realogy. So yeah, long history. One of the things I know about you is you're heavy into education. Like you're big into studying different things in business, and you've wowed me on finance and AI and all different types of things. So one of the things that I think was one of the attractions, and we've talked about you maybe coming over here for years, and
Yeah.
I was always like, when I'm ready,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a call, and that's one of the things I love. Like you're kind of in that space of like just wanting to know everything there is to know about these different topics, which I think,
Yep.
gives you a tremendous advantage. And I think the people that work here are going to get a great benefit of having your knowledge. Um, you differ from me in that aspect, and I really respect that about you. So, what's the last thing you did that you studied?
Well, it depends, but it's really finance. So I've been doing
Yeah,
that. I told you about this. So
yeah,
in COVID, and I was a true road warrior before that. So literally every week, parachuting in somewhere, visiting offices all over the place. So COVID hit, we're at home, no travel. And to be honest with you, it got like many, worked from home, kind of got bored, nothing to do besides, go to meetings and Zoom. So I started really getting into finance. I always wanted to do just really investing part of finance, and um, invested a little from what I had, and I just wanted to learn as much as I can about, you name it, ETFs, stocks, and how to position yourself. And teamed up with my uncle, who was retired at the time, and that's exactly what he did. He was retired. He just messed around with finance. So we put together a small financial company for our family, and that's it. It's a closed
nice.
environment. And with some of his guidance and my just diving in, because I had all the spare time following stocks, doing this. We put together a portfolio, got the whole family in, and it's been pretty good. I mean, my uncle was kind of he was a teacher, but he was also a genius when it came to finance and learning. He's one of these guys that like to learn too. So we put that together. Still goes on today. Unfortunately, he passed away a short time ago, but
Oh,
it still
bummer. But
runs.
you had that great experience with him, which is
Oh, it's
awesome.
huge, huge. Yeah,
That's
the key is patience, really.
right.
It's buy, understand, and have patience, and you see things just explode. It's unbelievable.
Oh, that's good. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
cool.
that's good. It's good education there. I mean, that's one thing that a lot of us as business people and entrepreneurs, especially in the real estate space, we don't do enough of
Well, that's what I did
wealth
with you.
preservation.
That's my setup with you. We've been talking about this for years. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, just be patient. It's coming.
Yep.
At the clip
Exactly.
that Century 21 Northeast and North Shore to Northeast to Integra was growing. Like I was for the past couple of years. I'm like, oh, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
some
I
patience,
knew it was
something
a matter of
out
time. It's
of
funny. We it was just a few weeks ago. I was at the Zillow Industry Group um presentation, whatever. I try to go to some of that. This year, I kind of made it like a thing. Like I'm going to go to everything. Whatever I get invited to in the first half of the year, I'm going to go to. I don't like to travel a lot. I don't like conferences. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Like there's some things I really like about conferences, but I hate sleeping in hotels and I hate flying and I don't drink, so I don't like going out. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah,
I like the part when you're sitting in the actual conference and you're learning something, but everything else I hate. Like I like to go to
yeah.
my gym and my
Okay.
routine. So I said this year, I said, I'm gonna make like a real effort. I'm gonna go to everything. And I went to everything. I went to the Independent Mortgage Bankers Conference. I went to the Gathering. I went to C21. I traveled out to meet owners in different parts of the country to buy their companies. I went out to Arizona, did that deal, went out to Texas like 3 times. I had so much stuff going on. And I think it was the last trip I was on was the Zillow industry thing. And we're trying to onboard a new company. And I got the mortgage company going and we're trying to onboard a new top LO. And I called 3 people that day, 3 of my key people, and all 3 of them were just drowning, and I could tell. I'm like, they were like, "Oh, I it's just so much to do." And I was like, "It's time." Like I called you right after. I'm like, "Hey, we're ready." Like I knew right then and there, like between Rob and Joe and Rob on the other side and Frank and everything that's going on in the companies, like we need somebody who can help us get to that next level. And obviously, you've been on my mind for a while to do this with, so I'm really excited that this is happening. I mean, so today this is your 4th day with the
Yeah.
company,
Yeah.
Yesterday we were talking and we're talking about all the stuff that happened Monday and Tuesday, and you're like, it's only Wednesday. Is it like this every week? And I would say yes. It's pretty much like this. It's been like this every week for a little while.
Yeah, which is good.
So
It's good, fast
yeah.
paced. Like it's
What's
it's
that?
crazy. It's day 4. It feels like it's month 4 or year
Yeah,
4. I've been around for so long with you guys. It's like
I know.
it doesn't seem like this major switch. Greg Sexton called me yesterday too. He's like checking in, just had a couple things going on. He's like, "How do you feel?" I was like, "Yeah, still feel like don't feel like I really left Century 21 because I'm going to see you guys at all the events and
Right.
everywhere. And I've been working with Jim, so I've been working with Jim for 15 years. It's like it's just a little different. It's more
We're
fun,
probably
but
one of the more active franchises anyway. I mean, I think in there, with the acquisitions that we do, and we have always participated in all the programs, like always. Like anything they have, it's like, yep, we'll do it. Recruiting, yep, we'll
yeah,
do it. Any, hey, we got this company that wants to sell. All right, we'll take it. So I mean, I feel like that's one thing that will be great for me is that all the people and what department to go to, so I could just be like talk
yeah,
to Dan on that, and then I could focus on continuing to try to find those growth opportunities. But you've already had a few, and I've had a couple deals go under agreement this week. So I think between the two of us, I think we're gonna. I think regardless of the fact that I brought you in to save people from drowning, I think more people are going to be drowning more now with both of us bringing in growth.
could
So we're
be.
going to need to grow this team, which is great because we have
Yeah.
access to a lot of great talent across the country, and those times will be available. I think this company is going to grow exponentially in the next couple of years.
Oh, no question. It's I was talking to a guy. He's in the just last night. He's in the Cornell Real Estate Council. So it's a group I've been a part of for a while. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of commercial and investment, but he was talking about vertical integration, and I
Mm.
was like, that I like that. I like the understanding of that, and we had this discussion um, of what that means, and it's brands by Integra. It's vertical integration is being able to acquire and grow in all types of markets. Doesn't matter. So it kind of correlates with buying a house. What's the best time to buy a house? Today and 15 years ago. You can't time it. So it's the
Right.
same thing with acquiring companies. It's today and 15 years ago. But the problem is like most companies try to time things correctly and time the
They try to
market and
pick
they can't figure it
they try
out.
to pick the next territory, right? Like my next acquisition is going to be
Yeah.
if I have an office in St. Pete and an office in Oldsmar, my next acquisition has to be in Tampa. But you can't. I mean, I found that you can't do it that way. I feel like you have to go where the deals are,
Yeah.
and so I mean, obviously, this what we've done is we've taken that to the nth level, right? Because we get deals in Oklahoma and Texas and New
Yeah.
York and Pennsylvania, and I mean we're like chameleons. Arizona now. I think the thing is, and I say this all the time, um, like the whole the whole part of what makes I think me and this group successful is that we just kind of go with the next thing. Like we do have plans like on how we want to grow organically, right? So I think organically it's easy to plan. But I think when you're doing acquisitions, you definitely have to go where you can go, right? So wherever the next deal is where we'll go if it's a good deal. And then I think the big thing that I want to focus on is creating density in all the markets.
Mhm.
One of the main reasons why I wanted to get out of Massachusetts and New England and start going into other states was um, you have a really limited audience when you're in one market, and I not that I want to give everyone, I'm not looking for everyone to go in all of our markets, but there is a benefit. I say this to some of the guys all the time. I would have a hard time being in one place calling on the same people every day, like calling on the same recruits, the same acquisitions, the same. when you have the footprint that we have, you really don't need to talk to the same people twice. Like you can circle back in a year, but you just have so many companies you can call on. We're in 30 MLSs or something like that. So when you look at all the MLSs, the rosters are endless, So
Yeah.
I think that's good on one side. On the downside of that is we're some of our states and our markets are skinny, and we pay a price to be in those markets, right? So like to have to pay for realtor board, to have to pay rent, to have to pay for MLS, to have to pay for state licensing and corporations and all that, it's not worth it to do for 6 agents in one
Yeah.
area. Like
No.
we've got to now create that density. We have the footprint, and now we have to create the density. And this past couple weeks, half of the interviews that I got were in states we're not in yet, and they want to open up more states, and we're all for that. But we really do need to focus and be disciplined on growing what we have first.
No question. No
I
question.
mean, and
Yeah.
I think the brand helps, but I also think that in some ways it's a challenge because we can't just go wherever we want without approval, right? So like as an entrepreneur, it sucks that you have to have approval, but you got to have approval. We're in a franchise. So having the multiple brands is really nice too, because it gives us the ability to, kind of look at the different brands and see which brand we can go in there with.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, what you're saying is not for everybody. You got to. We've figured it out, or you figured it out how to implement the infrastructure in different areas. Most people just can't figure it out, or not big
right.
enough to pull it off. So that's that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the key for that vertical integration to do it.
You have to be, I mean, and I said this when we had our event last month. It's like, you got to, like, when it comes to this business, it's not so much the real estate industry that I'm interested in, it's the business that I'm interested in. So, like, I've become a savant at growing the brokerage business. Like that's just something that that's the part I love. Like when people ask me how's the market, I don't know. Like I don't know which market. Well, which market are you talking about? Like I do know, like realistically, I know like from a global perspective, and I know which markets are a little soft and which ones are strong, but like I don't know the details of what's going on in Clarks Summit, Pennsylvania. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you the market, but I can tell you that if you have a good offering and you hire the right agents and you give them the resources, tools, and compensation they need to grow, you'll do more business. So, like I was saying yesterday in that interview with Housing Wire, like if it doesn't matter to me if there's 3 million closings a year, 4 million closings a year, or 10 million closings a year. It doesn't matter to me. We as a company did 6,000 transactions and I'd like to do 7. There's another 1,000 in there for me. If there's 4 million, 3 million, 7 million,
Sure.
10 million, or 1 million, I can get another 1,000. So I've always had that mentality. It's never been for me market driven. It's always been, it's Moneyball, right? So like
Yeah.
I was telling the guy that I was interviewed with yesterday, I was like, we lost an office. In May. We lost an office, was with us for 5 years. It was a group, it was a team, and they had their own office. And they had told us in the beginning that they may want to become an independent at some point. So we kind of knew it was going to happen. Um, I had just passed up on a deal. And then they called and said that this was the year they were going to go independent. So I think they did like, I don't know, let's say 1,000,008, 2 million in GCI, which is gross commission income. So let's call it 100 million in sales volume. And I just passed up on a deal that was 100 million in sales volume because I didn't like the price. But as soon as that deal went down, I went after that deal that I just walked away from to see if I could replace it.
Yeah.
And that deal's that will end up happening. But like I was saying this to the guy yesterday, if we have an agent that leaves or an agent that gets out of the business that's doing 100,000 in GCI, we need another agent with 100, or three at 33, or 4 at 25. Like
Yeah.
you really do need to replace your overall production. It's like batting average, right? If the team batting average is 300, then you have to try to keep that batting average. It doesn't matter the exact players. It's the overall, and That's just
Yeah.
how it works. This industry, people move. They're saying like Nate was saying today, 1 in 4 are going to move this year. I heard 1 in 3, 1 in 2.5.
Yeah.
So 1 in every 2.5 or 5, right? So there's still a high number are going to change brokerages this year. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you leverage and harness that? If it's going to
Yeah.
happen,
I
you got to
mean,
be on the offense, not play defense.
right. And the good
Make it.
news
Yeah.
is with us, I think that and with some of the new people that have come on to our team, they're looking at what we do and they're like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And so, like, I think I've always felt like we do have the best agent platform out there. When you put together how much we pay our agents, which is by far the best, I think, in the business for what we give them,
Mhm.
and then you look at how we treat them as business partners and how we help them grow not only their business but their teams. We recruit for them like we do. They want to take an agent on their team that's in our office. We don't have like, oh, you have to pay us. Like, no, go ahead. If it's better for the agent, it's better for the team, do it. We'll replace this part. What that's created is it's created an environment of we have team leaders calling us with leads for us all the time. Like, hey, this isn't a good fit for my team, but they want to come to the company. So, I mean, I just think that
Yeah.
that's what's really made us get to this point.
Yeah, it's huge flexibility and treating these agents like business owners because they are,
You're right.
That's
Exactly.
huge.
Which is kind of common sense. I mean, the
Yeah.
people that try to control it
Yeah.
is beyond me. When you try to control, someone said to me the other day, we don't charge franchise fees. And a lot of people in the franchise, they go bananas. Like, how do
Hmm.
you do that? Why do you do that? Because because I don't want to spend my days explaining to agents the value of the franchise fee. Like I just come up with an amount and that if it's 80%, that's what you get, 80%. If I've got to pay a franchise fee, I'll pay it. But like I was spending all my time talking to agents about why they have to pay this. And everyone else was spending their time talking to my agents, telling them that their 80% here wasn't 80% because they
Yeah.
pay a franchise fee. So I wiped it out like 5, 6 years ago. And I think it was one of the better things we did. Not from a profitability perspective, but definitely from a quality of life perspective
Yeah.
and a transparency perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're playing defense all the time with your
Yeah.
recruits. Like, you're 80%, but then minus
Oh,
this and that. And
I have to go meet with an agent. This is what I have to go meet one of my agents. They're gonna leave. I gotta go try to convince them to stay.
yeah.
And like we don't do that here. It's not because we don't value that. Like if a top agent calls me and says, "Hey, I'm considering making a move because there's some things that you don't have that I want, and I would like to talk to you about it before I make this big decision." Then of course I'm gonna say, "Yeah, when do you want to meet? Like, let's do this."
Yeah.
But when you have somebody who's just like, "Hey, I made a decision. I signed the papers over at another company, and I'm gonna go over there." My answer to that is the same every time. Number one, I hate to see you go. Is there anything that we can do to try to keep you here? And then if the answer to that is no, I made my decision, I want to try it. My next answer is the door is always open. Please
Yeah.
come back if it doesn't work out. And that's just how we've always been. Not always, by the way, but like
Yeah. Yeah.
a lot recently. Like Rob was telling me today, he's like, "Oh, I think I got this agent to come back." And I was like, "Oh, that's wild. She's only been gone 2 months." So I'm like, "That's fantastic news because, you know, um, we like when they come back. We play the
Definitely.
welcome back Carter song and we put their welcome backs on the Facebook. So
Oh, good.
anyway,
That's good.
but
The grass isn't always greener, It's
no, true.
Danny
Um,
Penny, one of these new companies or brands that are trying to do some crazy things. It's just, a lot of it's just, hype. So
So what's your strategy? Are you going to be visiting these offices, meeting the agents? We're going to put you on the road.
yeah,
What can the agents expect?
yeah, they can expect me to be out there and meeting as many as I possibly can for sure. And also, along with you, looking at growth and prospects and things like that. But I think the other initiative is, as we grow, it's really implementing all of our different companies, which we haven't even mentioned. It's mortgage, title, insurance, property management. Like, how do we make sure we're capturing, that one-stop shop for the consumer? It's so easy for the consumer when they do a transaction. They're buying a house. Well, there's mortgage, there's title, there's insurance, you name it. So that's also a piece we're gonna focus on and incorporate and increase even more for our profitability, which gives us more latitude to grow even more. So there's a
Great.
lot, but it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
A
it
lot of-
is. And just like we do here, we just do the next thing. You can how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a
Yeah,
time. Like you can
yeah,
only take on so much. And
right.
and that's and that that's what's going to get us to the next level. So,
Yeah,
welcome again and thanks for doing this and we'll check back in with you in a few months and just see
yeah,
how
great,
everything's going.
excellent. Yeah,
All
appreciate
right,
the
man.
time and the invite and you name it. Awesome.
All right.
All
Dan
right.
Firda. Thanks, guys.